Hey guys, what's going on? Prelin, and hey, you guys know what to do. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, don't forget to hit the join button down below if you want to become a member of the channel and support me. I really appreciate anyone that does. Let's get into the video. So starting off, we have some news about one of our biggest talents basically possibly leaving the club, and it's a weird one because there's reports coming out from Germany saying that Bayern Munich have essentially agreed to take Callum Hudson-Odoi off of Chelsea, and that is with a loan. And then this next part is sort of being reported differently: a loan with obligation to buy, but then also people saying a loan with an option to buy. Both are sort of up in the air at the moment. We don't know what the official sort of report is as it stands. There's people saying it's a loan, then they have to buy him. There's other people saying a loan, then they can choose to buy him, and of course we have to agree as well at the end of that. So that player is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Of course, the links with Bayern Munich happened before, and to be honest, there was a part of me that thought he was going to go. It really did look like he was set on it, but obviously he didn't. And now this summer, late into the transfer window, it looks like it could be happening again. And there's one reason that, of course, I don't want him to go because I think he's a great talent, and I think we should keep our talent at Chelsea, obviously. So that's one reason. And then, of course, you've got the fact that even if Callum did go, that then leaves us with two natural wingers within our squad: Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech. Timo can play there, Kai can play there, but realistically, you want both of them in different roles. You want Timo up front, Kai in the number 10, Ziyech on the right, and then Pulisic on the left. If Ziyech and Pulisic are injured as they are now, if that happens later on into the season, what do we do then? Because then we throw Timo on the left, Kai on the right. Then that means we're forced to play Tammy up front with maybe Mason Mount at cam, and that takes players out of the centre mid role. If you want Cam playing in the middle like most people do, and then that means we can't sell Jorginho because we need Kovacic and Kante there. Kante's had injuries recently. What if Kante's injured? It really does sort of thin the squad out. And we're playing, Timo Werner probably not in his best position. I do think he's best up front, although he is great coming in from wide. And Kai Havertz definitely seems best in the centre as well. So we don't want to be pushing him out wide. And we all know how most of the fan base feels about Mason Mount playing out wide. So it's a very dangerous position to put ourselves in. It would mean that we would basically have to go out and buy a striker, a winger, soon, very soon, because the window closes October 5th, which is Monday, I believe, at 11 p.m. So we'd really have to push on and go and buy a winger from somewhere. Of course, Saïd Benrahma is one that I wanted us to go get. Maybe he would be the one that we'd go for. I don't know, but it's very, very dangerous. And Chelsea have reportedly come out through Sky Deutschland, I believe, of course Netherlands, and apparently said that's what they're reporting. It's not obviously the Dutch Chelsea people. Through Sky in the Netherlands, it has currently been reported that Chelsea have denied any sort of transfer dealings with Callum Hudson-Odoi for Bayern Munich, although I'd expect them to. We saw Frank Lampard in press conference, the only one he sort of admitted to a little bit was Edouard Mendy, and that was when he was completing his medical on that day, so it was basically confirmed anyway. So I don't think Chelsea would ever say to the press or whatever this one might happen, because it puts us in a weaker position in terms of getting the financials that we want and stuff. So very, very concerned. I really hope Chelsea do not go through with this. It might be a total load of fabrication, and there we go, I'm fine with that. I would find it weird, given that Callum has recently, I reported it today, yesterday night, that he's now got himself a personal trainer, and he is really trying to sort of show Frank Lampard that he's given everything he has to become a first-team player here. And I'm very happy about that. And I'm very, very proud of Callum to be doing that and not sort of stropping, because at his age, you never know how someone reacts to that. Someone being told, you're not doing quite enough, you need to do more, and him feeling but I am doing as much as I can. He could throw a fit and be like, fine, I'm going to Bayern Munich. I don't want to be here anyway. And so I don't think it's true, but it might be. And if it is, I'm going to be very disappointed. I really hope this one doesn't go through. Of course, I'm going to keep you guys up to date, because this is going to be continuing for the next few days until the transfer window closes. And it does also, if this doesn't happen, this transfer window, it does sort of concern me for the long run, because Bayern Munich obviously have an interest in Callum Hudson-Odoi to be one of their next, wingers, because I guess they've got Perisic, who's a little bit older, and maybe they're trying to fill in one of the winger slots with a youngster. And it does make me concerned for the long run if they're going to keep pushing for him every year. is it going to end up being, the Hazard to Real Madrid that we all sort of knew was going to happen eventually, but didn't want to happen? Hopefully not. I'll keep you guys up to date with how it goes. Now I'm going to move on to previewing the Chelsea versus Crystal Palace game that is happening today. I think this game is going to be difficult. We know what they did to Man United. They, of course, beat them, I think it was 3-1 in the end. Obviously, Crystal Palace are not one to be underestimated. Watching them, in that Man United game, I think I may put some play their other game. I'm not sure if they played 3 or 2, but I've definitely watched them twice. And they look decent, Palace actually look decent. We know we've had trouble with them in the past. I remember, I believe last season, Zaha just sort of blasting one from outside the box because he knew Kepa was in goal, and it went in like top bin. So Zaha has always been a bit of a troll for us, and I do worry for this game. But we should be winning this game. Of course, this is a game that I expect us to pick up 3 points in. After the West Brom game, we really, I think, need to sort of push on, make sure we can get 3 points, and then start stringing some wins together because we need them. And it's going to be a difficult game. So we're going to go through my predicted lineup now. So starting off in goal, I'm going to be going with Edouard Mendy to be my goalkeeper for this game. Of course, we saw him in his debut. This will be his Premier League debut, and I think he'll do bits. So I'm really hoping this will be a game for Edouard Mendy to sort of show us, I did it in the Cup game. Of course, it didn't end well in the long run. But in the Premier League, I want him to kickstart. I think, keepers don't have to be as match fit and sharp as the outfield players. So I think he'll be all right to play. And then for the 2 fullbacks, I'm going to be going with Ben Chilwell. I believe he'll be fit enough to start. He probably will come subbed off for Azpilicueta, I'd guess around 60, 70 minutes in. But yeah, Ben Chilwell to start on one side, and then Reece James to start on the other for me. The centre-back pairing in the middle, I'm going to be going with Kurt Zouma and Thiago Silva. I think those two should be solid enough. I could see Tomori going in there. I'd like to see Tomori play, but I think it's probably going to be Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma. The formation, I got 4 at the back, of course. Going to be going with a 4-2-3-1. The 2 centre midfielders, I'm going with Kante and Kovacic. Probably could have predicted that. I think Kante, Kovacic, they're a good partnership. I want to see them develop and sort of strengthen across the season with their sort of, togetherness. And I think they'll be able to do that. Should be able to get us through Palace. And then for the sort of cam role up front, a little further ahead, going to be going Kai Havertz in there. Of course, I want him to have a great game, hopefully bag a goal, maybe an assist. On the left side, I'm throwing in Timo Werner on the left wing. On the right side, I'm throwing in Callum Hudson-Odoi. And then up top, I'm going with Tammy Abraham. Now, I would like to fit Mason Mount in there. Maybe you see Kante and Mount, possibly. Maybe you see Kovacic and Mount, I'm not too sure. But I think that team should be good enough to get us past Crystal Palace. Of course, Edouard Mendy and goal have a good game, hopefully. The fullbacks, Ben Chilwell, I'm hoping he'll have a really good game. And Reece James is crossing up front, should be really good with Tammy Abraham. Obviously, he's taller than Timo Werner, so hopefully he can get his head on one of them. The midfield, the sort of Kante, Kovacic, Kai, should be good enough. I really want to see Kai have another good game. I'm really excited to just see him on the ball when it comes to him in a Chelsea shirt. Timo Werner on the left wing, as I did mention previously, I think in the last section with Callum, he is better up front, I believe, but he's also very good coming out from the width. So seeing Timo Werner coming inside from the left side, I think he'll be good enough there. He's quite nice cutting in, so he should be able to do bits out there. Hopefully we can find him with some long balls down the wing, because the pace he's got, we need to start utilising it. So start spraying some balls down the wing and having Timo chasing them. On the right side, Callum Hudson-Odoi should be able to do bits. I think he probably would prefer to be on the left side, but he'll do bits on the right side, linking up with Reece James. Then Tammy Abraham up front. Definitely want to see him bagging a goal. He's definitely got it in him. And I'm excited to see him hopefully get a goal against Crystal Palace. That team, I think that's got to be a strong enough team to get us past Crystal Palace. Maybe you'd want more bodies in the midfield. So you could possibly throw in like a Jorginho, Kovacic, Mount, sort of like, Jorginho in the DM, Kovacic, Mount. Possibly we could see that going, but I think my team will do. As for a score prediction, I think Crystal Palace are not going to score, and that's a bold prediction, but with Thiago Silva hopefully getting comfortable in goal, Ben Chilwell obviously in there, Kurt Zouma our best centre back, I think we can hopefully keep a clean sheet. Edouard Mendy in goal I'm really feeling confident about, so hopefully we keep a clean sheet, and I'm going to say Chelsea score 2. I'm going to predict goal scorers, which I never really like doing. I'm going to go for Timo Werner and Tammy Abraham. I think that's pretty solid. I was thinking Callum. Maybe Callum does have a goal in him. He has got a lot of sort of... I feel like he's ready to go. You know, like Pulisic last season when we saw him sort of... He was quiet. Frank had him out of the team for a bit, and then he came back and he was firing on all cylinders. That's sort of what I'm hoping Callum does, but we'll see. Hopefully he gets an assist for one of those goals or something. That's going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, you can now become a member of the channel if you want to help support me. So click that join button down below if you do. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let me know what you guys think of the game, what's going to happen, that Callum news. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Goodbye.